Right, just grabbing a post-match interview following today's extraordinary 4-3 victory here at the Eyrie between Biggleswade FC and Barton Rovers. Skip, we'll start with you. We can't keep doing these last minute winners, can we?
No, it's a big ask. I mean, again, we haven't played our best, but you have to look at the opposition, and I think, is it Jermaine and Leon? I feel for them because they didn't deserve that. What's the saying? You only get out of football what you put in, and I think Barton have done everything, and if that's how they play for the rest of the season, they're not going to finish in the bottom 3 or 4. I thought at times we played well at times in the first half, but second half they changed their shape. I don't know what they've done, but they've nullified us, and yeah, we've got out of jail. And I think I said to you, Lee, before you started videoing, if they're sitting mid-table, I think they'd see that out 3-2 quite comfortably. But we've been there before, where every point counts, and you could just see them tensing and dropping deeper, and suddenly they weren't picking the runners up, and I feel for them. But yeah, I can't ask any more of our lads. We keep going to the 95th, 96th minute, and again, I'm going to sit there and say, as I did, I think against Ware, fair play for the referee adding the amount of time he did, because the goalkeeper was taking his time. I think there's 5 substitutions, which is 2.5 minutes. There's a couple of injuries. They've gone down with cramp. I think Luke's had a bad injury where he's had to, that's a minute and a half out the game. I think, I don't know whether you get time added on for a sending off, but we've lost Pat, which looked harsh from where we were. So, yeah, we can't keep doing it, but while we do it, while we are doing it, we'll enjoy it.
Certainly giving people value for money anyway, that's for sure. Dave, they score with 6 minutes to go, 3-2 down. We were obviously up here this morning looking at the pitch, umming and ahhing about whether or not to play the game, and I was half expecting that you were going to point the finger at me for us making the decision to play it. But we probably created more opportunities after Pat was sent off than we probably did in the whole of the second half, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think it gave us second half. First half, I thought we were so far on top, it was untrue. It gave away 2 poor goals. And second half, I think Skip alluded to it, but I don't think we got going. I think we went 40 minutes before we even got going. Adam never got down the right once for 35, 40 minutes. Didn't play great football, maybe made a couple of half chances. I think Barton were the same, never really made much at all. They were probably, if I'm honest, they're probably thinking, we're happy with this, they'll take a point, and we're scratching our heads. So we've made a couple of changes, and like I said, they scored a goal, and then we go, and we play with 3 at the back, we chuck extra player. I mean, let's big ourselves up, we go for it. It's not like we're sitting sulked about it. We chucked players forward. We've got Adam higher up the pitch, we've got Simo higher up the pitch, went for it, and you know, he who dares sort of thing, we're getting rewarded for our endeavour at the moment. But you're right, it took that time, and then we've made chances. The keeper's made, I think he's made 2 great saves. We've hit stuff over the bar. You know, a great response. So I just sort of had a go at the end and said, look, we can't do what we're doing in the second half. But of course they go and score 2 goals, so you're thinking you're going to go and fire off at them with 6 minutes to go, and at the end of it you're standing there with a big smile on your face because you picked up 3 points again. So
James, as already alluded to, it didn't really look like scoring until injury time. What was it that was different about what we did in injury time to the rest of the half? Because all of a sudden we seemed to kick back into the same gear that we were showing in the first half, which seemed to be sort of missing them for a lot of the second half.
I think we were playing the simpler pass more often, so the longer the game went on, Barton certainly tired, as did our players, but because we had more of the ball, I think the more we were passing to Fee, the more opportunities that gave for players to make runs off the ball, and that's, if you look at the last 2 goals, that was a big plus point really. I think that was a combination of the 2, playing to Feet and having runners, when perhaps we should have been tiring, we were a man down, sort of 90 plus minutes, like you said. And I think that was a big factor, and simply we had a couple of good substitutions that come on, like you say, that actually pinpoint passes. So rather than trying to play good looking passes that look great but perhaps don't always come off in those sort of times where you're pushing for a goal, it was important that they were playing into feet, like I say, or into a space where someone's running onto. And I think that was the key thing that was missing for most of the parts of the game.
We talk about the substitutions. Obviously, Lee and Keane had big impacts from the bench. Keane's not played for a while. Good was it to see him back out there and obviously contributing with a great finish.
Well, it was brilliant, and the volley was fantastic. And like you say, he was first to pretty much every ball that he contested. So yeah, he was the first one, and then Lee obviously was the second one that came on. And he was unfortunate not to get a goal after some good 1-2 play as well with the forward players. Could have got his goal, and then ultimately set Hunty up for the winner. So yeah, it's fantastic to see them both come off the bench and play so well.
Excellent. Dave, the red card, what was your view on it?
I've spoken to the ref afterwards and asked him just to, I never had a go at him. I just said, would you be kind enough to look at it? I felt that he was the opposite side to the challenge. Look, for me, it's an absolute yellow card at worst. I thought Pat almost looked like he was putting out. Look, I'll happily see it again, and I'll happily say, okay, I get it wrong, but I didn't think it was. I
thought the ref in the main had a decent game today.
I think he had a great game. So that's why, I've not gone off and over there and balled at him. I can understand why he gave it. I spoke to the linesman during the game, and I think he felt the same. But the problem is, of course, if you've made a decision it's a red, then it's done. We'll see it on a video and have a look at it again. But it's right. The thing is, it's right in front of us, and it wasn't like Pat's lunging. If anything, and the Barton lads going for it, Pat's going for it.
When I saw it at first glance, I thought it was a foul the other way.
Yeah,
I didn't actually realise until
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. It's one of those where I think Pat's. I'm not going to say he's not contesting, but it's almost like he's lifting himself out of a challenge, and it's what it is. But look, let's see it. Hopefully we may be able to appeal it. And I just like, as I say, the referee's a good guy. He spoke to everybody. Can't complain about him, and that's why I just asked him. It's rare of me, isn't it? But I asked him. I said, look, will you ever look at it for us?
No worries. Just finally, Skip. Obviously, we picked up a few injuries in the game today. Luke limped off. Charlie went off at half time. Can you tell us anything about those?
When I went over to Luke when he was on the pitch, it looked like his shoulder may have popped out. So again, I'm not a medical person, so I don't know how long that is. And Charlie, he felt a pop go in his thigh. So he'd done it on half time with that free kick that threatened the bypass, I think, rather than the goal. And the half finished straight away. So the good thing is, Amy has said, he's literally come straight off. So hopefully, because again, we missed Charlie for 5 games earlier in the season, and I think in that run we only won one of them. So he is a person that does so many good things, and you don't realise because he's not banging in 30 goals a season or winning every header at the back. So, but he just goes around his work on the football field. He's unbelievable. He's been a hell of a signing for us this year, and I'm hoping it's not a long-term issue, and it 2 or 3 weeks and he's back playing. But when he's playing and he's on his game, he's just fitted into our team and the way we play superbly. And so I'm gutted for him because he seems to be picking up niggling injuries all the time. But that's why we've got a good squad. It was good to see Lee back on there. Dave's lad who hasn't played, I don't think he's played for us this season, and he's come on here. He's involved in both goals, and he's had a good chance himself to keep us produce a great save. So we've got players coming back. Hopefully Ryan's back soon as well. So the squad's looking good. We're getting ourselves in position in games where we need the team. We need the players to come on and make a difference, and they are coming on. So it was really good. But hopefully the 2 injuries aren't as serious as they both sounded to start with.
Well, probably helps that we've got a bit of a gap now between now and our next league game as well, which probably allows those lads who have got much to get themselves fit.
100%. Again, I think some of them have looked at the next away fixture with Cirencester, 2.5 hour drive. So Pat's he's picked himself up a cheeky little red, so he ain't got to travel. Luke's shoulder will be fine the following week, and Charlie played for, I think, is it Spurs and Sheffield Wednesday? So that's an old pro's trick, isn't it? Hold your hamstring with your longest trip coming up shortly.
Old cynic, Skip. Cheers, guys. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much.